Hello, my astrological lovers. Welcome. If you are new, welcome to this world of astrology and tarot. And if you are old, welcome back. June is here. And the stars are aligning for a month of transformative energy, powerful insights, and emotional growth. This month we will be navigating some curiosity through Gemini and intellect, along with Cancer's nurturing and security and emotional depth. From intense squares to harmonious trines, this month's astrological transits are here to shake things up. Come and join this wonderful journey as I guide you through this month's transits. And whether you're looking for love, whether you're looking for clarity, or my favorite thing, healing some old wounds. My moon in Scorpio loves that. The universe, the stars above, has messages for all of us this month. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. Before we start and I start explaining the transits, I have some exciting news. Because we have this Jupiter in Gemini, which I am thriving in, let me know how you guys are doing. And if you need information on Jupiter and Gemini, go ahead and check out my previous videos. With that said, I moved my Patreon over to a more exclusive new community. And the community is called Danyell's Astro Tarot Elite Club. This change is about giving you more value, more access, and more personalized content, all just for $4 a month. By joining Danyell's Astro Tarot's Elite Club, you'll gain access to exclusive content, monthly readings that are just personalized to you, early access to all of my videos, and we have our special content, which is Mercury retrograde survival kits and tips on navigating eclipses. I also have yes and no readings, love readings, and also in the future I'm going to be reading some astrology charts. So if that's something you want to do in an affordable price, this is the perfect club for you. I made this shift to create a more intimate, engaging, and enriching experience just for you. Your support means the world to me, and I want to give back the best way that I can. So if you're ready to dive deeper into the cosmic world of wisdom and elevate your spiritual journey, join Danyell's Astro Tarot Elite Club today and click the link in the bio or click the link anywhere you can find it. It's definitely on my website and you can get started today. Also, lastly, I want to say if you join the club, then you also get discount to all my readings. You get discount to your one-on-one tarot readings. You get discount to your astrology chart, full astrology chart reading. Any discounts, they will come to you first. So that is what we have. I'm really excited about it. So let's get started on the month of June transits. So I have my notes down here because there's just no way I can remember everything. These are all the transits. I'm really just going to talk about the really big ones, and they're usually the conjunctions and the squares and the trines. If you want more detailed information, I do this weekly, and you get more detailed. We go over the sextiles and more. Even the degrees get really detailed with my weekly videos. Now we have the lunations here, and June 6th we have the new moon in Gemini, and it's going to be at 5:37 a.m. I'm going to talk about the aspects and how it's going to affect us, and of course the weekly videos will be way more detailed. I'll talk about rituals you can do with this new moon, and we'll also talk about some journaling because that will be really important when you're discussing Gemini. And June 21st we have the full moon in Capricorn, and it'll be in Capricorn because we're dealing with Cancer season. It's going to be 1 degree. That's going to happen at 6:07 p.m. Again, I'll discuss the aspects with this full moon later on in the video. But if you want the horoscopes, you want more detail on it, that will be coming up weekly of that week, right? Now, these are the ingresses of the month. We have June 3rd, Mercury is going to enter Gemini. June 8th, Mars is going to enter Taurus. June 16th, Venus is going to enter Cancer. June 17th, Mercury is going to enter Cancer. June 20th, the Sun enters Cancer. And June 29th, Saturn is in the sign Pisces, and it will station retrograde. I will explain what all this means, but for all my people who are new to astrology and they know a little bit more, now you have just a tidbit of what's going on for this month. So let's start with June 2nd. If you look at the chart here, Jupiter is going to be in the sign Gemini, and it's which is, how is everyone doing with that? I mean, talk about math. I have discussed math so much since Jupiter has entered Gemini. The discussion of all the technology in advancing and broadcasting, and my mom even did a live video, Facebook for the first time, while my father, he's a pastor, was giving his sermon. That was very Jupiter and Gemini. So let me know how Jupiter and Gemini is affecting you. But on June 2nd, going on in the future, Jupiter and Gemini is going to trine Pluto, and it's going to retrograde in the sign Aquarius. When you have this aspect, then there's intellectual expansion. It's very intelligent, and we're going to get these for 2 days, and this is going to linger for a good minute here, okay? So there's curiosity, there's learning. It's so positive. If there's something you want to learn, I would advise you to do it on June 2nd, June 3rd, and maybe that whole week, because you're talking about 2 planets, and it's going to be there for a good minute. Actually, let me see how long. You're going to be feeling all this energy that I'm explaining on the 2nd, all the way until June 21st. So you're going to feel this energy, and anything you want to get done under what I'm going to explain it as aspect, I would do it. You got like 20 days to do it, okay? So there's curiosity, there's learning, innovative thinking, there's powerful conversations, influential ideas and messages shared during this period have a potential to be influential. So if you're doing a sermon, this is a great time to do it. There's inner transformation too, because Pluto is all about healing and transformation. Anything dealing with Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about the intellectual energy. Also, it's dealing with science and math and the collective, big groups, big networking, huge with this aspect. So if you're trying to network, if you're trying to join a new social club, if you're trying to join a new group, this is a great time to do it. There's powerful insights, there's strategic thinking, adapting to new reality. Transit encourages openness to change. So even though dealing with that Aquarius and it's fixed energy, it still wants to learn. There's high intelligence, there's rebirth and renewal, because that is what Pluto represents. So there could be some releasing what no longer serves you when it comes to communication and thought and intellect. I find that this is great with intelligence. So if you're trying to learn, if you're trying to read, if you're trying to communicate, if you're trying to process information, this is it, okay? Now on the 3rd, that is when Mercury is going to ingress sign Gemini. And talk about, you already have Jupiter in Gemini, and that's gonna be conjunct soon, but talk about having all this Gemini energy. I mean, I'm a Mars in Gemini, I'm a Venus in Gemini, so I already feel it naturally, but it is a great energy for learning and processing information. And if you're scared to communicate anything, get ready. You're going to be communicating it more than ever, okay? So there's enhanced communication, enhanced curiosity, a lot of learning, a lot of socializing. Maybe you're going to take a course. Maybe you're going to research something that you've never researched before. Reading, if you said, I've always wanted to start reading, this would push it more than ever. Also, I remember I said this in previous videos, when Jupiter was in the sign Gemini, that's when I started doing booktube and also book clubs. Author or writer, this is going to push you to excel even more. Or if you're interested in writing a book, publishing a book, this is it right here. So active listening, all that's going to be enhanced with this Mercury entering Gemini. Gemini is also a very social energy, so really major social engagement. Now this is in Venus in Gemini, but really thinking about it and communicating about it. Technology, huge with this, because we're dealing with air, and I find that air really loves the future, and tech gadgets and social media is going to be really advanced when you have Mercury in a sign Gemini. Mercury is also at home in a sign Gemini, so it loves to be here. So sometimes it can make it even stronger when a planet is in a sign that it is at home. So just be ready for extra communication. Freedom in media, that could be happening. Digital media could be pushed more than ever. It makes me think of podcasts being even more stronger. Also, Gemini deals with education, so educational forms. Traveling will be bigger with Mercury in Gemini, so maybe even starting to process and planning traveling, maybe even physically traveling, because Mercury is our day-to-day travel. Now get ready for debates though, because whenever you have a sign and whenever you have the planet in a sign, it's going to give the good and bad. So the negative is gossip, too much talking, being restless with your words, scattered energy, scattered thinking and intellect, restlessness with your intellect, and really thinking that you can do it all. So get ready for that. But a lot of gossip and a lot of too much talking, maybe releasing secrets that should have not been told. That could be happening with Mercury and Gemini. A lot of things with their hands too, far as like, okay, well, and privacy, I'm thinking that will be breached or discussed big. Worldwide news, whenever Mercury enters any sign, I always think about bigger themes on sexuality, because Gemini is the rainbow, right? So there is that. And then also you have curiosity, any themes of curiosity, anything's dealing with youthful energy, anything's dealing with the hand, anything dealing with communication as abroad, and that's communication is writing, listening. Now Mercury is also in charge of our commerce, so Mercury in the Gemini is going to trade and commerce will be moving very fast, because Gemini is a very fast energy, and also trade and commerce will be very diverse, because Gemini is a very diverse kind of energy. It's mutable, it loves to change, and it's willing to try it all. Okay, so that is what you have with Mercury and Gemini. I will get more detailed when the week comes up and look up the horoscopes, but for now that's what we have. Now June 3rd, because we have Mercury in sign Gemini, is going to trine Pluto in the sign Aquarius. Now remember I said the intellect on the first, on the second, and also on the third. We have two trines energy. Mercury moves a little fast, so that's why I think if you want to really get something that's intellectually done, try to hit it around the 2 days, because Mercury moves fast, right? It doesn't stay long, as Jupiter will stay there a little bit longer, all the way until the 21st. So when you have Mercury trining Pluto, there's meaningful conversations, persuasive communication, again, the curiosity, and it could lead to research and investigations. There's powerful insights, inner reflection, because Pluto wants to get deeper than just the surface. That Gemini energy wants to keep it at a surface level, but it's trining. Trining means you don't have to do much effort. So there will be some deeper energy happening here. Truth seeking, revealing secrets, a lot of problem solving and strategic thinking. So if there's something that you really want to work on, for example, a website, that's all I can think of, because that's currently what I'm doing. This is the great energy to really work it and break it down and organize it, okay? Now, on the 4th, Mercury is going to conjunct Jupiter. They're both going to be sign Gemini, and we also have it in 2 degrees. 2 degrees is more of it's a Taurus degree. It's a supreme degree. So it's also dealing with like godly energy, but also dealing with your resources and your finances, right? Key themes when you have this transit. Now, anytime you have a conjunction, it's either positive or negative, but let me tell you, it's very strong, okay? So you will be feeling this, especially if you have Gemini placements. So you be optimistic, you can be very persuasive, there's a thirst for knowledge, there's curiosity with intellect again, and you're broadening your horizons, because Jupiter wants to go to the world, and there's no limit with Jupiter. So it's really thinking big. So like visionary ideas, positive mindset, having faith in communication, also thinking in an adventurous kind of spirit, and cultural exchange, because Jupiter is not just your community, even though we're in Gemini, but maybe communicating outside of your community, outside of your state or your city or your country, really going and thinking of other cultures is really what Jupiter is here to do. On the negative side, things could be over exaggerated. You can be very impatient with thought, scattered focus, superficial understanding. So lacking the details, lacking the depth, dogmatic thinking. Like you can be open to ideas, but you're really thinking of your own beliefs. So this could cause some arguments. You can also have information overload and restlessness too with this aspect. So get ready for that. It's all about the intellect. It's all about communication across the board, and a lot of commerce and your day-to-day community. It will be huge for the beginning of June. Now, on that same day, Venus is in Gemini. It's going to conjunct the Sun in Gemini, which will really make it a cazimi. And also, it could be dealing, because it's dealing with 14 degrees, so you could be dealing with a Taurus degree, mainly like your resources. This could be like enhanced charm, right? Venus is the of love, and it's what you attract. It is the ruler of Libra. So aesthetics mixed with your ego and communicating your ego, right? like really intellect and ego mixed together. So there's increased socializing because Gemini is a very social energy, and with that could be a lot of networking opportunities, a lot of intellectual stimulation. You could be sharing ideas, very diplomatic with socializing, so a lot of playfulness and fun because Gemini loves to have fun. And you know, when it comes to fashion, maybe you want to try something new because Gemini is open to new things. With this aspect though, there could be some superficial relationships, inconsistency with relationships, gossip and rumors, manipulative communication. The sun is about yourself and your physical body, while Venus brings the materialism into it. So with that said, you could also have some superficial values. We move on to June 6th, and the new moon in Gemini is going to be at 16 degrees and it's going to be at 5:37 a.m. A Gemini new moon by itself is very vibrant. It's about new beginnings, fresh ideas, intellectual pursuits. It embraces your curiosity and communication. That is what we're getting for the whole beginning of the month of June. A lot of social connections, a lot of adaptability because we're talking about that mutable energy, exploring new interests, engaging in stimulating conversations, and letting your mind wander into new territories. Now, this lunar phase can really encourage a lot of flexibility, and it welcomes change that comes with newfound of knowledge and perspective. It's going to conjunct Venus in Gemini, and because it's going to conjunct Venus in Gemini, again, you have that enhanced communication connected to your emotions, so you can have some new relationships, a lot of creative inspiration, a lot of socializing, and it's very harmonious. It could be positive, or maybe it could be, it's a new moon, so there could be some emotional conjunction. Now it's going to square Saturn, so there is going to be some boundaries within this relationship. So there's challenges and restrictions, and emotionally you're going to be feeling this. It could be causing you to set realistic goals, because anytime you have a new moon, it's about manifesting some goals here. So with this squaring, it's going to force you to make a change and make your goals more realistic. There's emotional growth. There's the energy of patience, adding discipline with your creativity. And during the week of this new moon, I'll discuss some rituals, but there's definitely some rituals of journaling and maybe even like writing down your intentions. Now, this new moon is going to sextile the North Node, and it's going to trine the South Node. So there's some karmic insights connected to this new moon and some growth. You're going to be releasing some old relationships that are very familiar with you, or this passive aggressive energy, and it will be very positive and work out for you. Now, the only thing negative about the new moon is that you will have to slow down and practice some patience and have some structure, or maybe address something that you've been fearing emotionally. So now June 8th, Mars is going to ingress into the Taurus. Whenever I think of Mars, I think of war and conflict. Taurus is here to bring patience and sturdiness, endurance. It's going to focus on tangible results, resources, and finances. You're going to be planning on building some wealth. You could be enjoying some physical pleasures. There's physical activities, but more dealing with earth elements. So like maybe gardening or going outside and taking walks with nature. There is this resistance change, so a lot of stubbornness. And this resistance also could probably help you overcome some obstacles that you really need to take your time with. Now, because I said earlier that Mars just makes me think of war and conflict, there could be some endurance when it comes to any type of war. So really thinking of it taking longer. Or two different countries or people who are conflicting are really being stubborn. Also, people are more strategic with the Mars in Taurus when it comes to conflicts and war. There's logistical economic factors added to this, so any type of conflict could be conflicting over your resources. Prolonged conflicts, focus on stability and control, strategic defense, and stubbornness when it comes to negotiations. I just find that our leaders may not be flexible when it comes to this Mars in Taurus. But there will be some tangible things when it comes to, like, we will see physical fighting, okay? And I'm not saying that you will have to see it, but if there is going to be any type of conflict, and it doesn't have to be a war, the Taurus energy, it makes you see the tangible result or the tangible physicalness of it, okay? Now, June 8th, Venus in Gemini is going to square Saturn in Pisces. This can cause relationship tension. There also could be creative blocks and lack of inspiration. Financial constraints happen with this too, because Saturn is going to limit that. And Venus is dealing with our finances and what we naturally attract. There could be social frustrations, a feeling of being isolated, delays and limitations when it comes to socializing or when it comes to relationships or loved ones, budget challenges, feelings of being inadequate, and the discussion of quality over quantity. Remember, squares are challenging, however, they're here to bring us lessons. So hopefully there'll be a lesson of love when it comes to communication and when it comes to some boundaries and restrictions, especially restrictions and boundaries that we can't see, or maybe that's a secret, because that's what Pisces is really here for. June 9th, the sun, it will be in the sign Gemini. It's going to square Saturn in Pisces. So more restrictions here, okay? Especially when it comes to our ego. This is in a Libra degrees and 19 degrees. So it's really dealing with our relationships and beauty and aesthetics and luxury items. So also could be dealing with law and business. So there's self-doubt, there's criticism, limitations, conflict with desires, the desire for freedom and exploration, because Gemini likes that variety, and Saturn is here to bring some discipline on those, that freedomness, okay? This can bring some anxiety, some creative blocks, and there could be a fluctuation in motivations and energy level, because the sun is giving us energy, and that square in Saturn can just throw it off. The sun and Saturn represents father figures, so there could be some type of challenges with that as well. Maybe a communication with the father figure and a secret father figure, something like that is what you can have with this. The sun and Saturn also represent leadership. So I find that there may be some restrictions here, and maybe the relationship with this leader or this relationship with this father. June 11th, Mars in the sign Taurus is going to square Pluto, which is retrograding in the sign Aquarius. Whenever we have Pluto and Mars, I always think of power struggles. There could be some control issues, distance to change, because they're both fixed energy, Taurus and Aquarius. Fear of transformation, intense emotions and reactions, anger and frustration. It's also about being obsessed. So like obsessed with results or being obsessed with resources and really having conflict with that. Financial tension. Beginning of the month, it was very positive with our intellect, and towards the middle and the end of the month, there will be a lot of challenges and a lot of things that we have to learn. Mercury in Gemini on the 12th is going to square Saturn. Again, Saturn in Pisces. There's a lot of restrictions happening towards the middle and the end of the month. So is the planet of thought and communication, right, and intellect. So there may be some limited thinking happening with this aspect, some misunderstandings, some criticism, some harshness with words, mental fatigue, a lot of slow processing information, second guessing yourself, trying to make everything perfect could happen. Or the Mercury in Gemini is just restless and moving fast, and the Saturn is like, what are you doing? Restrict that, stop it. Also wants the freedom, and Saturn is here to bring the fear into this, right? Also a sense of time, because Saturn is the ruler of time. Could be this issue with time and moving fast, because Gemini moves fast. Also, there could be an issue with being professional and public image, and the issue of socializing could be a thing here too. Now, June 14th, Mercury in Gemini is going to conjunct the sun. It will be a cazimi. Cazimi means that it's very, very strong, okay? So it's clarity and powerful communication. So before, earlier in the month, we had this energy of intellect, and now it continues on the 14th. And remember, Jupiter is still trining Pluto, and so we do have these double energies. So a lot of focus at Gemini energy. So clear expression, persuasive dialogue, intellectual clarity, a lot of breakthrough ideas, of having a sharp mind. Remember, curiosity is always a part of Gemini. Gemini, remember I said, is about the rainbow. So really having your hands in all of the, in everything you can, really thinking about doing it all, especially with that sun and that ego. It's like, I can do it all, I can be it all, and really feeling that energy. So really being flexible and adaptable, and networking, sharing a lot of ideas is what you get with this. And remember, conjunct is positive and negative. So it could be too much, even though we do have that. This will probably, actually, June 14th, there is going to be some type of huge announcement, especially in the news, because you're talking about Gemini and Mercury. Whenever the sun is hitting Mercury, there is a big headline in the news, and I bet you there'll be a big headline in the news, maybe in a Gemini theme. It's in 14 degrees, so maybe it's also dealing with your resources, because that's a Taurus degree, or maybe a singer, or like your luxuries voice. Not your voice, but a voice of some sort. Before Venus enters Cancer, which will be next, Venus in Gemini is going to square Neptune in Pisces. So there's some illusions with love. You could be overly sensitive. There's some boundary issues, escapism, a lot of confusion, especially when it comes to creativity and your passions. People can get deceived easily, especially through a loved one. So be aware of that. Unrealistic expectation and just deception in appearance. So that's what you get with that. Now, June 16th, Venus will be entering Cancer. Now, Cancer is all about romance too. So Cancer is all about stability and security, and Venus is all about love and relationships. So you have that going on once you have Venus ingressing into the sign Cancer. There's deep connections, there's nurturing energy, a focus on family and domestic harmony, emotional security, increased compassion, increased sensitivity. People will probably want to be more protective, instinctually, being really comfortable with aesthetics and art, because like being home is what you get with this, and really making your home a beautiful space. Now, the negative side with Venus entering Cancer is that you could be overly sensitive when it comes to relationships. You're probably clinging onto the past, because Cancer is all about nostalgia, and you're probably just constantly looking back and maybe thinking of an ex, and also over dependent. There is moodiness with Cancer, so moodiness in love, and also smothering. Cancer is very clingy, so like you're over clingy a loved one. So just be ready for that with Venus in Cancer. Before Mercury enters Cancer, Mercury also in the sign Gemini is going to square Neptune in Pisces. There's going to be misunderstandings, deception, mental fog, lack of clarity, confusion, lack of practicality, indecisiveness, and second guessing yourself. Just be aware of that, and also try not to do any drugs during that time, because this also is a form of escaping. Okay, so when Mercury squares Neptune, it won't be that long, because then it'll start to enter Cancer. Mercury moves fast, so you'll feel it for a few days. Now, June 17th, Mercury will enter Cancer, and all that stuff that I said about Venus, now you are thinking that way. So you are thinking about your home, you're having heartfelt conversations, there's empathy and understanding. You're going off your intuition, because Cancer is a water sign. There's family discussions, nurturing words. Your memory may be good during this time. Guarded communication to any criticism, because you are dealing with that water element. In the news, because whenever we have Mercury entering any sign, I always think about what we hear in the headlines. And Mercury in Cancer, we're going to hear a lot of things about family policies and housing and homes. There could be like security and safety, national security, public safety. Cancer is the energy of our heritage. So, because it is our home, and our home could be bigger than just our little home where we feel safe. But there is a discussion, not just security, but like our heritage and how we are culturally. Probably like some empathy and leadership. As far as commerce, because Mercury also deals with commerce, you probably will be investing in your home or improving your home, or maybe you're loyal to a brand. Maybe you're going to purchase real estate. Insurance policies, because Cancer loves to have the security. This could be family traveling too. Traveling with your family. The family's traveling to a local town that's probably like 2 hours away. But yeah, that's kind of what in a nutshell, what Mercury will look when it enters Cancer. Now, Mercury is going to conjunct Venus in a sign Cancer. They'll both be 0 degrees. That is the purest degree of Cancer energy. So heartfelt expression, empathy and understanding. There's harmonious interactions, romantic conversations, a lot of appreciation, aesthetics, especially when it comes to your family and your home, like really taking pictures with your loved ones, okay? Or really taking an art piece of a family member and putting it up in your home. Nurturing conversation, domestic harmony, a lot of intuition, intuitive energy, and really being attracted to that. Maybe getting a reading at home could be happening, maybe socializing in your home and having a party at home and really discussing family. Venus seems like a big party at home in a sign Cancer with your loved ones and your family. Now, June 20th, the sun will officially enter Cancer. Happy solar return to all my Cancers. I am a Cancer sun, so I definitely will be celebrating. So whenever you have the sun entering Cancer, there's a focus on family and home, the energy of nurturing and caring, emotional awareness and sensitivities. There's a lot of empathy, and there's security and comfort, and reflecting and introspection. Before the sun enters Cancer, the sun in Gemini again will be squaring Neptune. So you have all these planets that will be squaring, and then they ingress into the sign Cancer. So before the sun enters in the sign Cancer, there is confusion and uncertainty. Again, a lot of self-doubt, deception and evasion. Be careful of the drug use, like I said, and lack of focus and heightened sensitivity. Boundary issues could be happening too. So Gemini is the one of in communication, and when it's squaring that Neptune and Pisces, it makes me think of not having a clear understanding of your spirituality and what you truly believe. Okay, and what you think you're feeling. So be aware of that. Also likes to play pranks, and there's a youthful energy, and there's also this multitudinous of a lot of hands in one pot. And be aware of not being able to see clearly or feel clearly with this energy. Yes, there will be a lesson learned with that. Now, on the 21st, you have the full moon in Capricorn, and it's going to square Pisces. So again, this emotional energy is now coming up towards the end. We started the month with the intellectual energy, and we're closing it off with a lot of emotions with this Neptune and Pisces. So the full moon is very emotional because you have the sun in one place and the moon is in a complete opposite. It cannot see eye to eye. When you have the sign Capricorn, though, not really into the feelings. So there is that, but there's themes of your career, thinking long term. You could be very disciplined. There could be arguments over your ambition, arguments over your home versus your job and your career. Also, it's dealing with the focus of your public life. So you have that. We'll get into the ritual of the full moon for my weekly videos, but because it's going to square Neptune, this is your ambition versus dreams, like reality versus what you just feel. You had clarity versus confusion, and practicality is spirituality. This will be seesawing back with you, and just be aware of your emotions and how it's dealing with this opposite energy of getting things done. Your emotions are very ambitious, and it's dealing with this energy of illusions and lack of clarity. So we leave the full moon and June 26th, it gets positive for us. Mercury in the sign Cancer, a family and home, will be trining Saturn in Pisces. And we have the two water signs. There's love here and this sense of using your intuition. So thoughtful communication, mature insights, practical intuition, realistic planning, a lot of stability with relation building trust, intellectual deepness and depth, and healing. Cancer and Pisces, they want to heal, they want to feel, and are very sensitive. It's a great time to get tarot reading too, June 26th. So go ahead, and maybe one would just land in your lap actually with the trine. Now, June 28th, Mercury in Cancer will square Chiron, and this is how we're closing out the month. It's going to be raw emotions, and you have a fear of rejection, a misunderstanding, some defensive reactions, facing some wounds because Chiron is the wounded healer. And you could be emotionally overwhelmed. Cancer, Mercury in Cancer wants to get out and intuitively, and the healing of the self and the body could be happening here. Lastly, on the 29th, Saturn is in the sign Pisces. It's going to station retrograde. So a lot of the RE words, reflection, reevaluating, redoing, what else? Redoing, remembering, okay? And it's dealing with the spiritual discipline with that Saturn in Pisces. So reevaluating boundaries, personal boundaries, your emotion and spiritual limits. Are you spiritually disciplined every day? Are you meditating every day? Whatever you consider your spirituality, this is going to say, come on, wake up and revisit that. Is there some emotional healing that needs to be done? Are you reviewing your responsibilities when it comes to your career, when it comes to your goals, when it comes to be accountable? How are your creative endeavors? Okay, are you really doing them and pursuing them, and are they developing, and are you thinking of the long term? So that is what you have when Saturn retrogrades. Also, we'll be hitting a lot of planets, so we'll get into that as they hit them, but this Saturn retrograding for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed your June transits and you got a lot. This month we will be doing a lot of intellectual curiosity and asking questions and really processing a lot of information in a very quick and abundant way. At the same time, there are a lot of squares and challenges and us dealing with our spirituality in question. So yes, get ready for the month. It's very positive as a whole, and I hope you guys learned something in June, because I would definitely be learning and improving a lot of things as far as my technology and my communication, and I hope you will do the same. This is a great month to take an online class or learn a lot of things new, processing and taking in information, okay? And also connecting and tapping into that spirituality. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for staying and watching. Bye.